Hello and welcome to facial exercises online. It's a very good way of doing it. It means that you can practice at your own pace, and if you want to have a lesson with me, you can also book one privately and you'll get to keep your video. But this is something that you need to do on a daily basis. Just like anything, practice always makes progress. Tiny little steps day by day grow into bigger steps as you keep going. I don't like the whole practice makes perfect idea, but practice makes progress is somewhere where you can see you're actually getting somewhere with what you're doing. And with facial exercises, it's no good just doing it once and doing loads and thinking, oh, I'll catch up now, because you won't. It really has to be done. It's like playing the violin or learning Italian or whatever. You really need to keep at it. Practice makes progress. That's the answer to it. And so what we're going to start with is something that people are often very annoyed with, and that's little lines here, the number 11s. So the first exercise is to hold your fingers over your eyebrows, keeping your eyebrows still, making sure that this part of the hand is keeping that part of the eye still, because you probably don't want any more lines here. I've never met anyone who does want more lines, possibly from teenagers who are trying to buy alcohol and they're underage. And what you're going to do is try and frown, like that. That's easy, isn't it? Frowning's easy. What we're going to try and do is make it difficult, because we're going to resist that with our fingers. So push in, in, in. You should feel the muscle really pulling in, but you can't actually see any folds. And when you've got it pulled in as much as you can, breathe in. Breathe out and release it. So that seems easy enough, doesn't it? But the trick to getting it to iron these out, and you can probably see I've sort of got one of them. I've only got one line now rather than two, so it's less of a number 11, more of a number 1. And the trick is that you're trying to frown in like this, in little incremental movements, little steps. So you frown in, 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 in. I hate doing this bit because I try not to frown, because why make extra lines? So that's what you're doing. When you hold your eyebrows back and you stop yourself frowning and corrugating, wrinkling up that piece there, you should be doing it in small movements. So try that again. Try going in, 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 in. You should feel some movement there now. You should feel movement at the corner of your eyes, the outer corner, and at that point hold it as tight as you can and breathe in. Breathe out, and now hold it longer, and before you release, you're going to try and release it slowly in little steps. So release a tiny bit, a tiny bit, a tiny bit, a tiny bit, and it's totally released. And now, with this little part of your finger, you just gently smooth out where you've been moving the muscle, because you're moving the muscles in a slightly different way from how you move them when you frown, because you're not allowing the skin to wrinkle up. And this is what will iron it out. This is what will strengthen up the muscles just here. This is the easiest exercise to learn, but the hardest to perfect, because it's very easy to frown in. Anyone can frown. Children can do it. Babies can do it. They're not happy and their nappy needs changing. But can you frown in little tiny, tiny movements? And that is the bit that you need to practice. So we'll do it once more. Remembering to keep this bit still with this bit here, keeping your eyebrows in place, and you start to frown. And you're stopping it by holding your eyebrows still, and yet you're trying your hardest to frown. So pulling in, 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 in steps, and that's really holding that tight and breathing in. Breathe out, hold it a wee bit longer, and then start very slowly to release. Release, 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 release. And when it's smooth, just smooth over the muscle to soften the area there. And now close your eyes for a moment and think about how that feels. How does it feel, that area just between your eyebrows? It's something you probably won't have thought about before. Does it feel lighter? Does it feel softer, smoother? You might feel hotter, you might feel the blood circulating. Just think to yourself how it felt before you did that and now how it feels. Now that exercise is not only good for ironing out number 11 lines, but it can actually help if you've got a migraine or neck ache or anything like that. So it's not a bad idea just to wriggle about like that for a moment, because you can tense up when you're doing these exercises, and tensing up is not what we want. We want you to start relaxing and looking happier, smoother. Okay, so that's your number 1 exercise. Try that again, go through the exercise again and see how you get on. Okay, bye.